over 60, this simple walking habit may lower blood pressure naturally. If you are over 60 and still sitting down right after meals, stop for just 5 seconds. Because one tiny habit you ignore every day may be quietly raising your blood pressure, increasing your risk of stroke, damaging your memory, and aging your body faster than you realize. And the shocking part is this habit may take less than 10 minutes to fix. Before we begin, I want to ask you something simple. What age are you watching from today? And after meals, do you usually walk or sit down to rest? Tell me in the comments below, because I genuinely love hearing from all of you and seeing where everyone is watching from around the world. And if staying independent, protecting your heart, keeping your mind sharp, and lowering your blood pressure naturally after 60 matters to you, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because every week we share simple, science-backed habits that help older adults live healthier, stronger, and longer lives. Now let me ask you something important. Have you ever wondered why blood pressure seems to quietly rise as we get older? Maybe 10 years ago everything was normal. Then suddenly your doctor says your blood pressure is elevated. Maybe now you take medication every morning. Maybe the dose keeps increasing. Or maybe your numbers are creeping up even though you feel completely fine. And that is exactly what makes high blood pressure so dangerous. Most people feel absolutely nothing while it quietly damages the body. No pain. No warning. No alarm bell going off inside your chest. You simply wake up one day and hear words nobody wants to hear. Heart attack, stroke, kidney disease, memory decline. But the truth is, these problems often begin years earlier in silence. Imagine for a moment a garden hose lying in your backyard. First, everything looks perfectly fine. Water flows smoothly. No leaks. No cracks. But now imagine somebody turns the pressure up just a little too high. Not enough to burst the hose today. Not enough to create obvious damage this month. Maybe not even this year. But slowly, silently, inside the hose where nobody can see, tiny damage begins. The walls become stiffer. Small weak spots start forming. The flexibility disappears little by little. And after years of pressure building in the background, one day without warning, it bursts. That is exactly what high blood pressure does to your arteries. Every second of every day, elevated pressure pushes against blood vessels feeding your heart, brain, kidneys, eyes, and memory centers. And the frightening part is that most people never feel it happening. This is why doctors call it the silent killer. Because the stroke at 72 rarely started at 72. The heart attack at 65 usually began decades earlier. The memory loss many people blame on aging sometimes starts with years of poor circulation quietly damaging tiny blood vessels inside the brain. And this is why what I'm about to tell you matters so much. Because there is one incredibly simple habit that may help lower blood pressure naturally, improve blood sugar, support circulation, calm stress, and protect your brain all at the same time. And most people completely ignore it. Walking after meals. Now I know what some of you may be thinking. Doctor, can something this simple really make a difference? That is a fair question. Because honestly, if a pharmaceutical company created a pill that lowered blood pressure, improved blood sugar, reduced stress, improved sleep, supported memory, strengthened the heart, and came with almost no side effects, it would probably become one of the best-selling treatments in the world. But what if I told you something free may quietly do many of those same things? Let me explain why. Every time you eat, especially foods like bread, rice, potatoes, cereal, pasta, crackers, desserts, chips, or sweet drinks, your blood sugar rises. And here is something many people don't realize. Food does not need to taste sweet to raise blood sugar. A bowl of rice, a baked potato, toast at breakfast, pasta at dinner. Even though they don't taste sugary, inside your body they often become glucose, sugar moving through your bloodstream. Think of it like this. Every meal sends tiny fuel particles into your blood. And suddenly your body says, we need somewhere to store all of this. So it releases a hormone called insulin. Think of insulin like a helper carrying keys. Its job is to unlock your cells so sugar can move out of the bloodstream and into muscles where it can be used for energy. When we are younger, this system works beautifully. But as we age, many people slowly develop something called insulin resistance. This means your body stops responding as efficiently to insulin. Suddenly, the body has to produce more and more insulin just to achieve the same result. And here is where trouble quietly begins. High insulin levels over time can raise blood pressure in several ways. First, insulin can tell your kidneys to hold on to more salt and water, increasing pressure inside your blood vessels. Second, insulin can make blood vessels tighten instead of relax. Third, it increases inflammation, which slowly damages circulation. And fourth, insulin resistance itself is strongly linked to heart disease, diabetes, dementia, and faster aging. Now here is where walking becomes incredibly powerful. Your muscles have something that almost feels like a hidden superpower. The moment you begin walking, your muscles start pulling sugar out of your bloodstream almost immediately. Think of your muscles like giant storage rooms suddenly opening their doors. Instead of sugar staying trapped in the blood causing damage, it gets used. Blood sugar spikes become smaller. The body needs less insulin. Blood vessels experience less stress. Pressure begins easing naturally. This is one reason walking after meals may be so powerful. And timing matters more than most people realize. In one study involving adults with type 2 diabetes, researchers compared two groups. One group walked once a day for 30 minutes. The other group walked for 10 minutes after each meal. Same total amount of walking, same effort. But here is what surprised researchers. The group walking after meals often showed better blood sugar control because they were helping the body exactly when sugar levels were rising most. That means short walks spread through the day may sometimes be more effective than doing all your exercise at once. But blood sugar is only part of the story. Because there is another hidden system inside your body that may be one of the biggest secrets to healthy aging. And most people have never even heard of it. Inside every blood vessel in your body is an incredibly delicate lining called the endothelium. Think of it like wallpaper covering the inside of every artery and vein. It may sound small, but this layer performs one of the most important jobs in your body. It helps decide whether blood vessels stay relaxed or become tight and narrow. It releases something called nitric oxide, a natural signal that tells blood vessels to relax and widen. When blood vessels relax, blood flows more easily and blood pressure naturally stays lower. But over time, high blood sugar, inflammation, poor sleep, stress, smoking, and too much sitting slowly damage this protective lining. Blood vessels stiffen, circulation worsens, pressure rises, the heart works harder, risk increases. Now here is the beautiful part. Walking gently wakes this system back up. When you move, your muscles ask for more oxygen. Blood flows faster through the body. That movement gently stimulates the inside of blood vessels, encouraging the release of nitric oxide. In simple words, walking tells your blood vessels to relax. And what makes this even more remarkable is that the effect can continue for hours after your walk ends. Meaning that simple 10-minute walk after dinner may still be helping your circulation later in the evening or even while you sleep. But there is a third reason walking matters after 60, and this one surprises many people. Stress. Your body has something called the fight or flight system. Thousands of years ago, this system protected humans from danger. If something threatening appeared, blood pressure rose, heart rate increased, muscles prepared to survive. But today, the threats are different. Financial stress, loneliness, poor sleep, family worries, health fears, constant bad news, anxiety about the future. And for many older adults, the body quietly stays trapped in stress mode far too often. Blood pressure remains elevated. Sleep becomes lighter. Recovery slows. Energy disappears. Walking helps interrupt that cycle, especially outdoors, especially in quiet spaces. The moment you begin moving, your body starts receiving signals that you are safe. Stress hormones begin falling. Heart rate slows down. Breathing becomes calmer. Blood vessels relax. Blood pressure follows. That peaceful feeling many people describe after a walk? It is not your imagination. Your body is literally shifting into healing mode. And here is something important I want you to remember because this changes everything. These three systems are connected. Blood sugar affects blood pressure. Stress affects insulin. Poor circulation affects the brain. Everything is linked, which means helping one system often helps many others at the same time. That is why walking feels so powerful. It does not just help one thing. It quietly supports your entire body together. Now let me ask you something. If any of this sounds familiar, if you feel like your blood pressure has slowly crept up over the years, type the word walk in the comments below because I want to know who is starting this journey with us. Sometimes making one small commitment publicly helps it stick. And speaking of commitments, let me tell you about someone I once spoke with. A man in his late 60s told me he felt trapped. More medication every year, less energy, worse sleep, higher blood pressure. He genuinely believed this was simply part of aging. But after making one simple promise to himself, walking after meals for just 10 minutes, things slowly began changing. Not overnight, but over several months. His blood pressure improved. His stamina improved. He slept better. He felt more hopeful again. And the most powerful thing he told me was this. He said, "For the first time in years, I feel like I'm helping my body instead of watching it slowly fall apart." And maybe that is the message I want to leave with you today. Aging does not mean surrender. Getting older does not mean decline is automatic. You still have influence over your future health. Sometimes far more than you think. Now maybe you're wondering, okay, doctor, but how much walking do I actually need? Good news. You do not need perfection. You do not need marathon training. You do not need expensive equipment. In fact, research suggests benefits begin much earlier than most people think. Even 4,000 to 5,000 steps per day may already improve health. And if you gradually work towards 7 or 8,000 steps, even better. But please do not obsess over perfection. Small progress matters. Here is the simplest plan I recommend. After breakfast, try walking for 10 minutes. After lunch, walk for 10 minutes. After dinner, walk for 10 minutes. That is just 30 minutes total spread throughout the day. And if 10 minutes feels hard right now, start with 5. 5 minutes still counts. Because consistency matters more than intensity. People also ask, how fast should I walk? Here is a simple answer. Walk at a pace where you can still talk, but singing would feel difficult. That gentle brisk pace is often enough to help blood pressure and circulation. Another common question is, what if my knees hurt? This matters because many people assume walking makes joint pain worse. Surprisingly, gentle movement often helps stiffness by improving circulation and reducing inflammation. Even walking around your house counts. Walking while talking on the phone counts. Walking slowly after dinner counts. Progress matters more than perfection. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting for the perfect time to start. I'll begin next month. I'll start after the holidays. I'll wait until life calms down. But your blood pressure is not waiting. Your arteries are not waiting. Your future health is being shaped by small daily choices happening right now. Healthy aging rarely comes from one giant decision. It usually comes from tiny habits repeated consistently over time. One healthier meal. One short walk. One better choice. Again and again until it becomes your lifestyle. So here is my challenge to you. For the next 7 days, try walking after every meal, even if it is only 5 minutes. Then pay attention to what changes. Your mood, your energy, your digestion, your sleep, your stress. And if you check your blood pressure at home, watch those numbers closely because you may be surprised how quickly your body responds when you finally give it what it has quietly needed all along. And before you go, tell me in the comments what age you are watching from and whether you are willing to try walking after meals starting today. I genuinely want to hear from you. And if this video helped you, make sure you subscribe and like the video because every week we share simple, science-backed ways to help you stay healthier, sharper, stronger, and independent for longer. Because at the end of the day, this is not really about numbers on a blood pressure monitor. It is about being able to travel, spend time with family, stay independent, play with your grandchildren, wake up with energy, and continue enjoying the life you worked so hard to build. And remember this, you are never too old to improve your health. Sometimes the smallest step you take today quietly becomes the reason you feel stronger tomorrow.